Hello, you're welcome once again to my channel. I remain Sally Apparel. In this video, I will be demonstrating how to draft a trendy spiral rose effect on a sleeve just like the one you're seeing now on your screen. So let's get straight to business. So guys, welcome back. This is a long sleeve template that I've already drafted. So it's going to help us to develop the spiral rose sleeve, okay? Now the length of this sleeve is 22 inches for the model. I added seam allowance of 1 inch on the side and seam allowance of 1 inch also at the length. So I've already measured the elbow length, which is 11 inches from the top of the sleeve. I'm going to come down now by 3 inches like so, and I'll straight it out. I'm actually increasing by 3 inches so that I will have additional drape effect. The next step now is to get another pattern sheet and fold as though on the bias. You fold it like the bias. Now this long part here of the bias should be turned, in this direction, okay? While I place the sleeve, I stop just where I marked that 3 inches, and I'll place it to match with the bias that I've already folded. Okay, let it be the exact length of what you have done. That's the length of your elbow length, your shoulder to your elbow plus the 3 inches. So I measured here this long part of the bias and I got 20.5 inches, which is fine. If you have below 20.5, it's not bad. If you have 18, if you have 19, it's still okay. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and secure the pattern paper together. Okay, so this is where I intend to use. This other part is not needed, so I'm going to cut it out. I'll cut out the excess. All right, so this is how the spiral rose sleeve should look like. I'll be adding seam allowance of ½ inch on this side, ½ inch. I'll also be adding ½ inch on this other length here. Okay, so this means that this area here is not going to be placed on fold. It is only this place here, this bias region, that will be placed on fold. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and place it on a fabric. So this is the fabric that I'll be using. It's a doll face satin. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be cutting one sleeve, not two. However, if you want to do this for your sewing project, I would suggest that you use 2 yards of fabric. 1.5 yards will not give you the length that you want to achieve, okay? But 2 yards will give you exactly what you want to achieve. All right, so moving on, I'll open up my fashion fabric and I would fold it on the bias like so, like a triangle. Now the folded edge, I'm just going to straighten this place well. Okay, you can see that this part here, the bias area, it gives a little stretch. So I'm placing my pattern, that place that I attached to the sleeve, I'm placing it directly on the bias area, okay? And I'm going to secure it with my pin. So if you recall, I came down by 3 inches from the elbow, and that is because I want the draping effect to be more exaggerated, okay? If I had just used the elbow length, it will still turn out well. However, I prefer a more drapery effect. That is why I came down by 3 inches. So as a result of that, I have to add that 3 inches to the length of my sleeve so that the long length of the sleeve can be balanced, okay? so I won't have any shortage. So I'm now going to add 3 inches. I will mark 3 inches and square a line. Okay, then I'm going to add half inches on this side and half inches on this other side. If you're just coming to my channel for the first time, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to cut out this pattern. I'm cutting out. Okay, so this is how our spiral rose sleeve looks like. Now I'm going to head to my sewing machine and I'll stitch. Let me shift it so you can see it properly. Okay, I'm going to stitch up to this point and up to the end here. After that, I will notch this part here. All right, then I'll press it open and bring it so that we can see it. So now guys, I've done the sewing, I've stitched it and I've pressed it. So I'm going to turn the fabric from this part here, this notch. Please make sure that at the tip of the drape you notch it so that it's going to balance well, so it's not going to form a it's not going to be bulky. Okay, now I am simply turning my fabric to the front side of the fashion fabric. So you spread out your sleeve. Now you can see that the sleeve is already giving us the flowery, the spiral flowery effect. So just keep draping it around. Take your time in doing this. Okay, there's no need to rush. So I'm just going ahead to arrange the drape to my satisfaction. Now I decided to place it for the camera so that you can see what I want to do very well. This requires patience, okay? You just have to take your time. So once you're satisfied, you begin to secure your drapes with a pin. This requires patience, like I said earlier, and I'm quite sure that you're more than capable of doing this. All right, so the next step now is to cut out my lining, and I'm stopping exactly at the elbow length. Okay, so I'll just mark out where I intend this lining to stop. This lining is actually to help us for the drape. So once I have achieved it, I'm going to cut it out, which you have already seen. So now I'm going to open up this lining. As you can see, we'll open up this lining and I will gently place the fashion fabric on it. Okay, please don't forget to notch the center of your sleeve so that you can be sure. I will quickly do that so that you can be sure that, so I make sure that it matches with each other. All right, so now what I'm going to do is to go ahead and pin the fabric to the lining. It's not compulsory to use the exact fabric for the lining with the sleeve. Okay, I just decided to do that, but you can use the regular lining for that part. Okay, and also before let me quickly just say something. If you want your drape to be really really balanced and sturdy, endeavor to iron a fusible interface onto your fabric. Okay, I didn't gum any interface for this fabric because of the tutorial. I didn't do that, but that shouldn't stop you. Okay, but if you're using a stiff fabric like an ashoke or a mikado silk, you most likely don't need to add any interface. So now you can see that there are some excess as a result of the pinning, so you can just drape it very well. You understand? If there are any excess, doesn't matter. You can arrange it and make it to form another lovely drape. Okay. Now, like I said earlier on, make sure that you comb your fabric. If you're using something like a doll face or a crepe, ensure that you gum it with an interface. Okay, so I'm getting now a needle and thread. Please pay rapt attention to what I'm about to do. If you have any questions, you can write it on the comment section and I will attend to it as soon as I can. Okay, so now I'm going to start the stitching. I use the contrasting thread so you can see what I'm doing. But when you're doing yours, please use a matching thread or an invisible thread. So I started sewing from underneath, making sure that I join the lining, to the fabric. And after knotting, I would do another part again. Please, when you're stitching, don't stitch the folds. Please stitch in between the folds, like you're seeing what I'm doing, in between the folds, not on the fold itself. You don't want your thread to be showing, so it won't be flattery to allow your thread to show. All right, so I'm just going to continue moving around this spiral. I'll keep repeating the process round and round, securing each part and ensuring that it is joined together with the fashion fabric. Okay, so guys, I have been able to attach every part and it's see that it's moving. It's really looking really good. I have removed the pins and stitch, so all I have to do now is to join the lining together and stay stitch it. If you are doing your own project and you want to line your dress, your sleeve rather, please go ahead and cut out your lining, okay, and stitch it on your sleeve. But for this tutorial, I do not intend to line the sleeve. I only just want to show us how to do this sleeve. So I'm going to run a stitch 1 inch on the side here and I will be folding the hem. Okay, now you can see the result of what we have done. Wow, this is our spiral rose sleeve. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. If you have learned something new, please encourage me by liking, by sharing to your friends and your soulmates. And you can also take out time to look at other videos on my channel. Till we meet again, bye bye.